6 girls who were told they were nothing become everything to each other. A knight who came to use them stays to protect them. And a gargoyle, yeah, a literal stone gargoyle, somehow ends up being the most emotionally available one in the group. The Knight and the Moth doesn't just have found family. It argues that family you choose might be the only one that ever really saw you. Let's talk about it.
I'm Carla.
And I'm Ale.
And this is Booked Buzzin.
And today we're going to be talking about the next big theme that we found reading The Knight and the Moth by Rachel Gillig.
Mm-hmm.
Found family.
Yeah, this is going to be a fun one.
Yeah, because genuinely, I think that it is a theme that I found sprinkled in heavy doses all over the book, but it wasn't forced.
Very natural.
And it wasn't obvious.
Which is a hard thing for an author to do, I will say.
Yes.
Most of the times when I've read Found Family, Fourth Wing, and you agree, so don't even, it's always felt forced. It's never felt natural, it's never felt natural. It's never felt like it was building up, like it just naturally happened. It usually feels forced, where it's like, this is my best friend. We are best friends. I love my best friend. Yeah. It's not like in this book where you're given time and substance and character building and relationship building.
Okay, well, I'm going to level you up here.
Okay.
The inner circle in ACOTAR.
You know what I find
very forced for me at first.
What I find forced is more.
100%.
Not really Cassian and Azrael.
Yes. Yes, because I understand that you are, like, Rice is your brother, right? Mm-hmm. And so now his mate is who you...
Oh, you're talking about with Feyre?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I thought you meant with Rice Hand.
No. I totally feel that. Mm-hmm. I just felt forced the second that she comes out of his meat. So
I can get behind that, but more specifically again with Moore. I don't like Moore.
No, at all. But let's stay this.
Yeah. I digress.
Sorry, I shouldn't have done that. But I guess we're just kind of trying to describe the different books that we feel like the found family theme was not done well.
You know where I feel like found family was done well? Throne of Glass. No?
Girl, what does Throne of Glass do wrong?
True.
Because
you know what it does wrong? Adian and Kale. That's it. Oh, next. Okay, so in this book, and stay tuned because we will be getting into ACOTAR actually a lot sooner than we had initially. Yeah.
Yes.
We did a whole video. If you haven't seen it, it's on our channel. It's like our 2026 reads, and we kind of did like a calendar of what we're reading and when we're reading. And ACOTAR reread is on there, but further along the line, and we're pushing that bitch up.
We gotta do it.
Yeah.
Because we gotta make sure that the timeline is done well so that Carla cannot get away with not reading Crescent City. So, anyways, now that I've spent like 5 minutes talking about
Spark Notes is still a thing, isn't it?
No.
I'm going to Google it.
I don't think so.
I think Spark Notes is a thing. If
you're not going to Spark Note 3.
Do you remember
books.
Spark Notes?
Of course I do.
Yeah. Okay, anyways. So, Found Family in The Knight of the Moth.
Found Family in Knight of the Moth was, I think, done beautifully.
Yeah.
And I think it shows you different aspects of family systems. Like, we're going to start right off, right? When you first get introduced to the main character, 6, which you then find out her name is Sybil. Mm-hmm. There are spoilers, by the way.
Yeah, I mean.
So, what I found interesting as I'm reading this book is how little I felt like the main character knew herself. Because she couldn't really remember,
very true.
Right? She doesn't remember a life before she stepped into the cathedral and became a diviner. Mm-hmm. So she knows herself very little.
Yeah.
Before this, she only knows herself with the diviners.
Yes.
all of them together is a found family, but it's not a bond that is easily understood at the beginning of the story. And as a matter of fact, it is written in a way of like, we're kind of like sisters and we're close as sisters when we need to be, but neither of us really know where we stand. And within the 6 diviners, there were favorites.
Yeah, but right? You know within what I want to say also about the diviners is that it felt very effortless, and the relationship felt very light.
Yes.
It didn't feel heavy. It didn't feel like there was like
sisterhood.
Specific ones. Yeah, like it didn't feel like a diehard anything. It also didn't feel like they were at odds. It just felt like very, just like going through your day. You know, it just felt very calm.
This is
at ease.
Who I'm with all the time.
Mm-hmm. Until they started disappearing.
Yep.
And that's when you started to see amongst each other how much they really...
The bond.
Yeah. How much they really relied on the existence of one another.
Yep.
And how much like they cared for each other. Because 6... all of them mourn everyone that disappears each day, which that was also scary when I was reading it, that I was just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, because they keep disappearing, right? And the other ones that are being left behind are like, what is happening?
Yeah.
And B, it goes from being like, because this is why it's done so naturally, because this is just a life that we live. We're around each other all day. We're together all day. So we're used to each other all day. There's no like, you're gone for 8 hours a day or whatever.
Yeah, no, they're always
together. And they're always together. So their vibe is less like, there's also not a lot of space for conflict, I feel.
Which is interesting because normally in siblinghood, you do find a lot of conflict.
Yeah.
And especially with the abbess, that the way she's described is that she gives a little and then walks away so that you stay wanting. And so you would think amongst one another, there would be a competition of like wanting to win her affections. And in a way, there might be a very slight one because 6 talks about how important the abbess is for her. Right. But it's never an outward like, I need to be better than my sisters kind of thing.
There's even conversation, I feel like at first, of like, one of the other diviners being like, because 6 dreams the most, or you're her favorite.
Yes, they definitely say it. And but you come very, very soon in the book, you come to see how important they are to one another when 6, she really respects the abbess and she really wants her approval. And she goes to her and is like, what's going on? So for her to come to the abbess and question her and be like, what are you doing to find them? And the abbess gives her an answer and 6 gets pissed because she's like, you're not answering my question. I want to know where they are. What's going on? What are you doing to find them? She's like, I sent a gargoyle. Blah, blah, blah. And it's not enough for 6. 6 feels like she's being shrugged off, which it goes against her, what we know of her in the beginning of the book. Her personality is very fall in line, obedient, wants to impress the abbess, wants the abbess to be happy with her. And she's challenging her and she's getting angry with her.
Yep.
So in that moment, you do realize, and it's pretty, like, I want to say maybe like 100 pages into the book or something. Yeah. She's like outwardly showing you how her sisters are more important to her than the abbess.
Yeah. It's such a great point because at first, and for a lot of the book, the need for 6 to be favorited by the abbess, the fulfillment she gets when the abbess gives her any type of love, it's like a rewarding system for her. And it's kind of like, and at one point, Mendacious says, call her a martyr. Yeah. Like, you're a martyr because you just want to be her favorite. Mm-hmm. It fulfills something in you. It makes you feel superior. Yeah. Because there are a lot of moments where Sybil shows her need to be superior. Mm-hmm. Her egotistical aspect of like, this is all worth something. Yeah. And when you have a character that's complex in that aspect, then care so much about something to rebel against the one thing that she put on a pedestal, because the abyss was on a pedestal,
and especially for someone who's not rebellious.
Yep. Who actively struggles to show how committed she is to the abyss and the cathedral and to the idea that she's a diviner.
Yeah.
To then be like, no, where are my sisters?
Yeah.
Where are my diviners?
And that's the thing. My diviners, she continues with that sentiment throughout the whole book. And she's mourning and she's looking for them, but with such a sense of grief that it's almost like
she feels
she
broken.
knows, that she's not going to find them. And everywhere she goes, she's like, my diviners, my diviners. And
have you seen them? Have you met
And she talks to herself. She's like, my diviners. All I want is my diviners. And she's in the middle of like also falling in love. And what takes precedent, and I love this, is her diviners, because that was her first love. It was her diviners.
Yes. I also want to mention something really important for me within this kind of transition of the first 100 pages, where she decides that she needs to go find her diviners. Not only did she rebel against the sole purpose of her existence, which is the abyss, and her approval of her, right?
Yeah.
She left the only home that she knew.
That part.
To go.
And something
she
that
doesn't
she was
know
so
where.
proud of, by the ways.
Something that fills her cup of, I'm important and I'm better. Because when you first meet this character, she is high on her horse of, I'm a diviner and everybody comes to me, and I am a daughter of Aisling, which there's only 6. So she is revered as like extremely important in the magic system, or whatever you're going to call it. In like, I don't know what you call it, like just in the belief system of the entire country, basically. Right? And it's a place where she feels totally in control. Like, I can play this part. I'm amazing. I can do this. I'm the abyss's favorite. So she's leaving not only the role, she's not only just leaving the abyss.
Everything she knows and is
everything
and values.
she knows, does not know where she's going. That's how important the diviners are to her, that she's literally walking in the dark to the castle, to the king that she's only met once, to be like,
alone,
help me.
which, by the way, is scary and dangerous.
Yes.
Especially for a woman.
Yes.
Especially for something,
That's
as you read this book, there's every time anyone sees her, they're like, diviner, diviner, diviner. Like, they go feral. So to put yourself in that situation for anybody, it speaks to how important they are to her. And I just wanted to read the last sister that goes missing. Because I felt like it was such a defeating moment, and such a like, I felt through reading, and this is a credit to the author's writing, through reading the words, I felt the loss of something, you know? Like, I felt like the breath being taken out of me of like, fuck. And she knew it was going to happen too.
Yeah.
Okay. So, one by one, all the diviners go disappearing, right? One by one, all the diviners go disappearing, and the last 2 standing are 1 and 6. One ends up taking her shroud off and looking in the mirror, and she gasps, right? Which we don't come to find out why until much later in the book. But she gasps. 6 doesn't have the balls to do it, so she just like lets it go. And they lay on the mattress. It's just the 2 of them now, and there was 6 of them before. So every night one has gone missing, and it's like they know going to sleep somebody is gonna go missing, right? So it goes, the day slipped into night. For every hour we tried to stay awake, one's shoulders sank farther. I can't remember my childhood. She rested her head on my shoulder. Everything before Ailing is so dark. Don't forget me if I disappear, 6. If you disappear, I said fiercely, I will come find you, and then we will find the others together, no matter the signs, no matter the portents. No matter the portents, I promise. Talk to me. One's breath grew heavy. Tell me a story. We'll see all the hamlets, study their customs, their crafts, even their sprites. She keeps talking about that. My eyelids grew burdensome. I forced them open and pinched myself until my arm was covered with bruises. It's a wild world out there, one strange and magnificent, and we're going to see it. Everything will be so entirely beautiful. When I open my eyes, it's morning. I know by the quiet, by the cold, by the balance of the mattress beneath me, that one was gone. That gives me goosebumps. The cottage was empty now, hollowed out. Outside, the wind wailed a sorrowful tune. My tears did not come. They were trapped somewhere within me, festering beneath a heavy surface I couldn't shift. That writing, excellent. Because I felt it in that moment with her, where she was like, I can tell just by breathing the air.
I just woke up and knew.
I knew she was gone.
Which speaks to how much co-living she's done. She knows her environment and where her diviners are. I think
it was a sad scene because they all have their own beds and they chose to lay in bed together because they knew someone's going missing tonight.
Yeah.
It's really sad. And then sad. When you're reading the book, you have this hope that like maybe they'll find one. And you know when you're reading, like, as you go on, and she's like, have you seen a diviner? Have you seen a diviner? And everyone's like, no.
I feel like I knew. Yeah.
You have a sense that something is amiss because especially by the time that at first I was like, okay, well, where the fuck are they? Right?
Yeah.
But it's strange that every night only one goes missing. Okay. And they're all talking about like, what the fuck is going on? And then she goes, she's with Benji and Rory and Maud and, Gargoyle. And she opens Benji's book while she's waiting to talk to him. And she reads his grandfather's findings. And she talks to him and she's like, tell me about the diviners. And he's like, oh, well, what do you want to know? And she's like, what has happened to past diviners? Where are they? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, there's no records of anybody being a prior diviner. And that right there, red flag. Yeah. Where you're like, okay.
There's no records of what happens once they leave the cathedral.
Yes. Mm-hmm. So that right there is like, okay, why? And you could say like, oh, maybe they're like oath bound that they can, and But it's like, it's strange because somebody somewhere would have probably said something in a real human world. Yeah. So when you're reading this, you have a sense, at least at some point in the book, that like maybe she's not going to find her diviners. And she herself starts to mourn them as she goes.
Well, and here's the other thing, because I feel like the other aspect to how, bringing it back to how strong their bond is, it's not just, they made plans.
Yeah, they kept talking about what they were going to do when they left the service.
They were constantly talking about like,
and doing it together.
We have 5 years left. Like, we're going to do this together. We have 3 years left. Like, we're going to do that together. I hear this happens. I hear that happens. We're going to go see this. Mm-hmm. And so not only are they found forced family, right? They talked about continuing life outside the cathedral together. Mm-hmm. And so this is what's hard for seeing the character growth, because I do think that she has a lot of character growth.
I think so too.
In the book, is that she is actively looking for them, but not only mourning her diviners, mourning her entire belief system. Yes. Everything that she thought she knew.
I mean, it gets dismantled almost off rip.
Dismantled. Mm-hmm. Like, everything she believed in, everything that she found pride in, everything that she thought she was, like, the best at. Gone.
She looks down on people who don't worship the cathedral because she's like, you're so stupid. Like, how do you not know how divine we are and how like prophetic and important we are? And then you realize
that was her whole beginning scene with Roderick. Like, She was
He scoffed at her. He basically like spat on the floor she was standing on.
And she was expected to be like she expects people to kiss her feet.
Yes.
And he comes in like...
She expects respect.
Yeah.
And worship, essentially.
Yep, worship, exactly.
And when she doesn't get that, she's like, you idiot. What do you... You're disgusting. What are you doing? Don't you know what we are, who we are?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I think that is just the evidence of the found family theme starts off right away in this book.
I would agree, but I also feel like it's very natural.
Yes.
And it builds up even more. And then I didn't really feel anything for the diviners initially. Like I felt it for her, where I was like, oh, that sucks,
Yeah.
But what really broke me was when she goes to the weaver. And I want to read it. I want to read what specifically like broke my heart for her.
Yes, please.
She goes to the weaver, right? I think this is the last omen that they're visiting. And basically she goes down with Rory and the gargoyle, and they all get split up. It's kind of like a tunnel system. And she lands in this area where she's saying, I expected more darkness than there was, but there was also the night sky, an opening in the cliff, roots and moonlight pouring in. Little white sacks hung cocoons. Beneath them was a stone bench stationed against the wall, and upon it a woman. A naked woman who lay supine and still, a shroud over her eyes. The world went still. One. I stumbled forward, banged my knees upon the stone bench. One. Mottled skin, gray lips, hands folded over her breasts. One lay upon the bench, her short brown hair fanning around her like a burned out halo. When I touched her neck for a pulse that was not there, her skin was as cold as stone. She looked like she was resting, but it wasn't rest. Whatever dream one walked in now brooked no awakening. She was lost, adrift, gone. No, it wasn't rest. It was sleep, eternal. A cry ripped up my throat. That whole scene was really... I didn't expect her to find any diviners.
Right.
And I didn't expect her to land eyes on one. I expected her to find out what happened to them, maybe. Or maybe in the second book.
Well, she already knew.
She had an idea because she had already fought against the oarsman
and
who was said, like, I eat them. Yeah.
She already knows that they're dead. Mm-hmm. And that goes back to dismantling, though.
Yes. She knew that. Still, there's something in the human nature that even if I heard that, I'd be like, but maybe some of them are still alive. Like maybe some of them got away. And you don't know how they get to the omens yet.
Right.
So when you see one just dead there, you're like, oh, fuck.
This is like, oh, I get what you're saying. Like, it's the difference between hearing it's like the difference between hearing about a tragedy
and seeing
and having it confirmed.
Yes. It's like, you hear stories, right? But it's different when you know somebody that's been through the same thing that you hear. It's a whole other level. And so I feel like this was the last crack that shattered everything for her, which at this point she already, she was knighted. She said, fuck the Alice, all that shit.
100%.
But there was still like this, I think, string of hope in her for maybe one of her diviners. Or not necessarily hope, but maybe like... Sometimes when you kick the past, you don't have to revisit it. You know what I mean? Like, you can just be like, fuck that.
Yeah.
That's back there, and fuck all that shit. But I don't need to go back. And there's times where it's like, you know what? No. And you go and you confront?
Yeah.
You confront your past. And that's what this moment did for her.
Yeah.
Because before this, I don't think she had any illusion to return to the cathedral to confront the abbess. After this.
Oh, yeah. After this, she was like, and you know what I need to do? Mm-hmm. Go kill her.
Yeah. Well, because also the weaver breaks it down for her. She's like, honey, every year they deliver me a dead diviner. I never eat them. And then it's the abbess. The abbess kills you guys and brings them to me. And that's part of what makes her be like, okay, fuck her.
Yeah. It's so true.
I feel like this scene was the decimation of whatever remnants of respect, or call it just like
just wanting to hold on to your past.
Yeah.
Just wanting to not let it all dismantle.
It's the only maternal figure she's ever known. And even if you hate her, there's still a little tiny piece of you that always,
you want some kind of, what's that word? Approval.
Mm-hmm. Or
That's
like
what she's looking for.
There's no confirmation on exactly what happens up until this point where the Weaver's like, oh, you want the tea? I'll give it to you. And she tells her everything. So at this point, it's not that Six wants to return to the Abyss. She absolutely doesn't. But it's like...
Well, she doesn't know what she's going to do after this.
Right.
That's the difference. You're right. Because as we move on to this through the book, right, she's just kind of following Benji around.
Mm-hmm.
Benji, they call him Benji.
Mm-hmm.
She's basically following him around because his plan is he needs to get all the omens. So she's like, okay, I'm just gonna go look for my diviners. There's no purpose.
Yeah.
Now, not only does she know that they're all dead, she knows the background story. So now she's like, I know what I need to do.
Yeah. Now she wants to confront her.
Confront the Abyss.
Any tiny piece, and it happens with like a lot of like parental-child relationships where it's like even when the parents are abusive or just like they're not good to their kids, a lot of the times they're like, but it's still my parent. And like, we don't need to talk often, but I know so many people that have, they've had not great parents and those parents still come around in their lives and they're like, look, at the end of the day, like, I don't welcome them into my life, but when they call me and they need something, it's my parent. What am I going to do?
Well, and I've said this before in my personal, like in our life, like it is not an easy thing for a child to not want their parent.
Of course, it's natural. And in this case, that's the only parent she's ever known.
Exactly.
So although I'm not saying she wanted a relationship with the Abyss after this, what I'm saying is I feel like she was willing to let go of any questions that the Abyss could have answered for her to move on with her life. But this moment for her made her be like, no, fuck that. I'm going to confront her and I'm going to kill her. It destroyed the last little piece she had.
Part. This is when she goes kind of... We return to where Trom's most sanctified story, its most crafted lie began, the tour. It's taken all day to get here, but I'm here to collect the last stone object, to kill the final omen. Mm-hmm. So that's when we know, like, she got purpose back.
Yes. Which she's lacked ever since her diviners were taken.
Yes. She's had a purpose, but she has no idea. She's never been anywhere. She's never been on her own. Every plan that she had, she planned with her diviners.
It's been crafted for her.
Yeah.
Everything has kind of been laid out for her.
Exactly. So now she's given a purpose. Yeah. And now she needs to go back and kill the Abyss.
And I will say that largely this book was her journey in finding herself. Even though I think there's still a lot left to find. But from the beginning to the end, it's a complete character transformation for her.
100%.
And I think a large part of it is her religion.
It's her belief system.
Yes, which was not only challenged, but decimated.
Exactly. Like...
Shattered completely.
Shattered.
Yeah.
So, that is one part, I feel, of the found family theme.
Yeah, I think so.
Now we enter the second part of this theme, which is the found family and the gargoyle. Because
that was the most important to me.
Because here's the thing. This is another perfect example of found family done perfectly, done effortlessly, and totally natural. Because not only does he know exactly what the Abyss had in store for her all along, he had a bond with her specifically. Whether it was because he knew what was going to happen or not, right? That he... and he foreshadowed it, because in the beginning, when she was leaving to go find the diviners, he was like, the Abyss promised me that you'd stay with me.
Yeah.
So he already knew what the plan was, right? But him leaving with her, him having the decision to be like, I need to be with her.
Yeah. And you also have to think about it in the sense where, like, this is a girl who's been sheltered her entire life. All she knows is the cathedral, her sisters being barefoot,
The gargoyles,
drowning, the gargoyles. That's it.
The abyss.
She has no knowledge of anything. I mean, you know, she's smoked hail wood or whatever, basically their version of weed.
Their version. I was gonna say the same thing.
I think they've drank a little bit. You know, she's rolled around in the hay with one or two other guys, so it's not like she's completely sheltered. But in terms of the real world and what's out there and what she can expect, she is largely sheltered.
Yeah.
And so to take somebody like that and throw them into the real world, it's pretty shocking.
Jarring.
Yeah, it's very jarring. And the gargoyle offers a sense of familiarity to her because he's been with her for
her whole life.
Like longer than any other really person other than the abbess, because I'm assuming all the diviners were picked up at a different point in time. She's 6, she was probably the last one, so by the time she came in, all the other diviners were there. But the gargoyle has been there from the beginning, and he said that the abbess told him, he was like, I'm the one who would go look for like foundling children that were dead, and I would bring them. And so there's a connection that she's always had with the gargoyle, where not necessarily that she underestimates him, but kind of like takes him for granted because he's always there. And then he leaves with her and she's open to it, and he provides her with that sense of stability
and trust, though. Also
trust and protection, because he does protect her, and he is scary. And you have to also understand that as a young woman alone in this world with people that she doesn't know. She doesn't know Rory. She doesn't know Maj. She doesn't know Benji. She doesn't know
their
anyone.
intentions. She doesn't know their characters.
He provides her with the feeling of safety and security because 100%. He is going to protect her, and he is big and ferocious looking, and people may think twice before, you know, trying to mess with her at all.
But also, it gives us, again, that feeling of he chose to come with her.
Mm-hmm. He chose her.
And and she knows he doesn't have any negative intentions because it's her safe space during the entire book.
Yeah.
In moments that she leaves the other main group, right? Like Roderick, Maud, and Benji, he's always alongside.
And even when she's dubious about Benji, because she does side-eye him, like, basically the entire book.
Yeah.
And Maud, not that she's dubious towards her, but it's not, like, a full trust that she has for her.
No.
And Mendacious is just constant bickering. So the gargoyle is the only one that provides her with that sense of ease, where it's like, I don't have to worry about your intentions. I don't have to worry about, like, what are you trying to get out of me?
With you.
And, like, what, like, I can just be me. And also, there is something to be said about having somebody that she can just like poke fun at, you know, and roll her eyes at, because it does disarm her a little bit, where she's so on guard this whole book.
Yeah.
So I think the gargoyle and the diviners, beautifully done found family, and it's in very different ways. I think the gargoyle, just because I love him so much, that's what shines the most. But her love for her diviners is so strong and beautiful too.
The love for the diviners got her out of the cathedral.
That's the only reason she left.
Huge. Mm-hmm. Which is huge.
And put her trust into Mendacious, who she barely knew and didn't like him. And she was like, get me the fuck out of here immediately.
Yeah. Which brings me to the third evidence of found family in this book. And I actually still think this was done right.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. Found family. Sometimes family is someone that you go along with because you have similar goals. Mm-hmm. But also because it's just your family. You might not get along all the time. You might not be the closest. Mm-hmm. But you find yourself in the right space with them.
Yeah.
And that's what I thought when I thought of Maud, Benji, and Roderick. Why? I liked that this is kind of like almost like the group of misfits.
Yeah, I can see that. Maud was largely the guidance between for the three of them. But I think
it didn't
you're
feel
right.
overbearing.
No.
It didn't feel like they were trying to force a relationship between Six and Maud.
No. I wasn't going to say that. But you said it didn't feel overbearing. And I agree. But I will say, when I was reading this book, I found it very, not jarring, but I was taken aback by how Maud and Mendacious spoke to Benji because he's the king.
Oh, 1,000%.
I think that's
1,000%.
I think
they fucked around and found out is all I'm saying.
I think it's more complex, and we can get into this in a different video
in our Benji episode.
But
yep,
I will say, like, no, I don't think she was condescending or like superior or anything like that. But I do think the found family between the three of them was natural. I just also feel like there was a power imbalance, and not in the way I expected it, where I would have thought that Benji would have commandeered the power and the other two would have raised him and grew up with him, but now they were finding a different, like a shift in dynamics. It wasn't like that. It was like Maud kind of raised the two of them. She didn't raise them, but in a way, and she continued to guide and weave and point the direction of, like, this is what we're doing, you're being stupid, you're this, you're that.
Yeah.
So yes, I would say it was a great example of found family. Also, I just do feel that the dynamics there were a little more tweaked, and even between Benji and Mendacious, where I expected a much more brotherly, equal vibe at the very least. Not equal, it should have been Benji on top, but at the very least equal. And it seemed like the hierarchy was Maud, Mendacious, Benji.
Yep.
Where even Mendacious was like, ugh, Benji, first of all, why are you calling me by my first name?
First of all, who are you?
First of all, it's your highness.
I'm your king. Right? You're nothing without me.
Second of all, are you laughing at me? Off with his head.
And this is why we don't have power.
This is why.
I mean, we make that point in everything.
I know, but it's just like, it rings so true.
No, I agree with you, because I feel like somewhere along the line, and I have theories on this, okay? Somewhere along the line, Benji and Maud and Mendacious did have their little found misfit family, right? For various reasons. Yeah. So I think, again, it's almost an even better example of found family, where, like, they were found together and they loved each other at one point, and then something hit the fan. I do think so. I think Maud had a significant love for both of them. I think Mendacious has a certain level of benefit to them.
I think we disagree here.
But Benji, I think, grew up thinking that they were his role models, and somewhere along the line, he started talking to the other soldiers or the other noble houses, or he started growing up and being like, who are you people to talk to me like that? I'm the king.
I think it's complex, and I don't want to dive into it right now. But what I'll say, just to circle back to this in a different episode, is that I feel that the dynamics and the hierarchy that we're predisposed to thinking of when it comes to a monarchy is not the same as what the dynamics are in this book. Because in this book, what's placed above everything is the cathedral and then the monarchy. Because he is at the like beck and call, or not beck and call, but
he's being humiliated on every
hamlet, and at the cathedral, and he's looked down on. So I just feel like maybe I needed to shift my perspective to understand the dynamics better. But what I'll say in terms of the dynamics family between the found family there is that I didn't notice it until now, but there is a very stark, like, it's like the flip of a coin, where it's like, you see these families in real life that are just like, wow, you guys like all get along. That's so strange. And then you see these families where it's like, oh my God, you guys hate each other. And it's like you get both in real life.
Yeah.
And you get both in these two groups where
the
found family for 6 was pure and true and lovely and without any ulterior motives or conflict or second side of everybody or with limits. It wasn't like that. It was just genuine and true and pure,
unconditional.
correct.
Almost.
Yes. Versus the found family for mendacious was very complex
power dynamic.
It was more complicated. It was not unconditional. It was with a lot of hidden things, which is realistic too.
I love that. You're right. Yes.
I feel like that was really interesting, and I like that she gave us both sides of the coin, because when you're reading something so pure and perfect and beautiful, it can be like, this doesn't feel realistic. Yeah. But when you're given the other side, it's like...
She did, and we didn't even realize it, because we agreed on this theme as being huge.
And that's why this book felt so natural.
Yes.
Because you do get both sides where that does exist. There are families.
Blood families that like, you're looking at them and they're like, you guys all like each other?
You guys give each other hugs? That's weird. Okay. Or like families where it's like, oh my God, you guys don't say I love you to each other? That's weird.
Why do you guys hang out? Yeah. Why are you guys still in the same room? Like, you guys hate each other.
We just talk to each other like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was, now it came to me that it's like, she gave us both.
Yeah. And she gave us the result of both, almost. Like, a very pure, unconditional love ended in a tragedy.
Yep.
And a very unequal power dynamic ended up in destruction.
Yeah.
Wow. Look at us.
It's a very good book. It really is. And it's short too.
Yeah. It really, I honestly think that the theme, this is one of the top themes that stood out to me when I was done with the book that I wanted to discuss, because I feel like I love talking through every chapter with you, but this is my favorite. Yeah. I love analyzing these books with you. And that is one of the things that I feel like I really just needed to talk about.
Yeah, and I think it's like right now, I hadn't thought about that until now. So it's fun when we talk about it, because it opens our minds to different things that we hadn't thought of in the moment. Sometimes you bring up perspectives that I hadn't even thought of, or vice versa. Or we come to epiphanies. Like, we discovered that Prim was a piece of shit doing this. It was in the middle of an episode.
That's
what we hadn't even thought about it. And we were like, wait a minute, is she a problem?
I remember that. I was literally like, and perfect Prim. And you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know. I have a reaction.
No, and then we talked about it and we were like, wait, fuck her?
Prim is a problem. Yeah.
So that's the fun part about doing the episodes like this, which I think that you guys will like it. Hopefully you like it.
Yeah. But
yeah.
To wrap up this whole idea, I do think that this is a great example of found family theme done right in a book. I regardless of the episodes we make, I really recommend this book from the very beginning that we started talking about this book. So
it's a good book. Yeah. I think it has a lot of everything. I think it's really funny. I think it's really heartbreaking. I think it's very sweet. I think there's moments that even, like, I didn't love the main character. I didn't dislike her. But even her, there's a quote I want to read real quick before we finish.
Okay.
That I was like, I like that. And it's when Rory and her are, they're still bickering and kind of like hating each other, which by the way, the banter between them was pretty great.
Yes. And I definitely want to dive into that in our next episode.
Yes. But she's basically with them now. She's escaped. And he's like, take that shit off to her shroud.
Gossamer. Yeah.
And she says... He's like, two things can be true at the same time, diviner. Rory glowered at a passing car on his lowered voice. Take it off. No. Why not? No is a sufficient answer. That's what she said. And I love that, because I was like, period. And that's it. I said no.
So it's no.
I don't need to tell you why. Why? Because no. And I love that. And I found her abrasive. And I liked that.
So I hadn't thought about this before. It might make it into another episode. I think that you might not have liked her or disliked her, but I think that you enjoyed some of her parts, because She's kind of like us.
I knew you were going there with that.
Because she is. There were so many moments now that I think about that I'm like, yeah.
I think that what bothers me the most about her was really like her superiority. But let's get into this in a different episode because I see us going down a hill with this. We're just going to like talk about it for like an hour.
Agreed. So, as we continue to cover the themes in The Knight and the Moth, if you've read already this book, kind of jump in on our videos because I think we're having a really fun time just talking through analyzing this book together. So a couple episodes that are going to come up are we're actually going to dive into, and this is actually, I'm really excited about this episode. We're going to dive into the magic system or the world building, right? And I think this has two purposes. One, I need to talk about these omens. I need to talk about them, each one in the notes that I have for them. But also, it could also be really helpful for when you're ready to read book 2 and we explain the world building to you. Yeah. So
we also really need to talk about Benji because you and I have a lot to get off on our chest. And we need to do a reread episode at some point before the Name in the Moon comes out.
So we're going to read it so you don't have to reread it. Yeah. And you'll be ready for
everything you need to know so you can just watch the video.
Book 2, which is called Knave and the Moon, that comes out September 1st.
Yes.
So catch us next time.
See you next time.
Bye.